That we then we come forward with the problems and solve it once for all. So not to waste time. That's the nature I have. I want to tell you. So we tried our best. We tried our best to give them good lines, but they could not listen to what we said. So now let us come out with a good idea how to handle such issues here, so that at the end of the year we also get good results. Thank you. May God bless you.
Members of the teaching staff, my dear parents. Good morning to you all. On behalf of school administration and on my own behalf, I want to warmly welcome all of you for this emergency meeting. I must apologize for the short notice that I'm surprised our turnout is very, very good. We tried to put announcements from Thursday up to Friday, but the timing for the announcement on the first day with the patches was a bit very difficult for us. No patches was a bit hard. When they say the announcements will flow for 5 minutes, they are 5 minutes. Even if you have so many announcements, they'll put them aside. They are aware most of us get our announcements in the morning hours before they leave for work. That is where we wanted the announcements to be. So it was not possible on the first day. They explained to us, we understood, but later they had to push our announcement to the period where most of us get close to the radios. So many of us have been calling us here because they heard there was an announcement of this kind. We also have tried to help so many. We are here, a very great meeting, no unusual. We usually sit for a PTA meeting towards the end of the year, or after we have successfully completed the year. But since COVID came in 2020, we have been having emergency PTA meetings, at least with the selected parents. A general meeting of this kind has never taken place since 2019. So we have been having emergency meetings. I want to thank God for having kept us alive. Since COVID, many people lost their lives. Others lost their lives because of the COVID itself. Others lost their lives because of the impact of the COVID. But God has kept us alive. Up to now, we must say thank you. I want to thank all you parents for entrusting us with your children. I know if you did not give us the children, there will be no school here. So you deserve to be appreciated for the trust that you had in us. I want to thank my PTA for their tireless efforts. They have not left us. Before we opened in 2022, we had a meeting, we called them. They responded. We have been having series of meetings opened the other way on 10th of the month of January. We have pushed ourselves with these children here for 11th week now. This is the 11th week. This term is unusually long. It's supposed to last for 14 weeks, almost like a semester. Higher institution of learning. This is very new to most of our children. That is what I must tell you. Allow me to give you a brief on our enrollment. We received 141 boys in senior 1 and 117 girls, giving us a total of 258. The senior ones of last year who came back to start this year, we have 166 boys and 102 girls, giving us a total of 268. The senior 2s of last year who have been promoted senior 3 by the state, the boys are 117 and girls are 82, giving us a total of 199. The senior 4s, we have 132 boys and 86 girls, giving us a total of 218. We have 43 students, 43 boys in senior 5 with 16 girls, giving us a total of 59. We have 29 boys in senior 6 with 11 girls, giving us a total of 40. The teaching staff, we have 34 males with 8 female teachers, giving us a total of 42. Those who help us in the kitchen, security, the office, we have 20 males, 9 females, giving us a total of 29. So these are the people who work with these children that we have in the school. As I said earlier, our teacher is very rich, very experienced. The richest I'm talking about is the experience they have. These are retired school head teachers, active head teachers, and teachers who have a lot of knowledge about how children are to be looked after. And this is the experience that we have been relying on. Allow me to give you a background. As I said, term opened on 10th January. It's supposed to go up to 15th. We were prepared by the ministry. So they anticipated that there will be challenges if teachers are not oriented properly. Because the learners that you gave back to us, this time we are not the same learners who left us here in 2021 and 2020. These learners were completely different. Teachers were trained, the teachers at first were trained by the ministry, later the district, and our training ended in school here. We had orientations. After orientation, prepare the students, prepare the teachers to receive the students. When the students came, indeed, what was foreseen was real, and the nature of the children was different. Since we are prepared, in the first week, so they had just been from home, it was fair. Second week, issues started cropping in. The first issue that came was the relations between boys and girls in the school was a bit unique. The way boys look at girls must be open. They looked at girls as sex objects. A lady will pass here, you will see the noise that they make. It was terrible, especially the big boys who were in the higher classes, and these were the senior 4 and senior 3s. These two classes made life very difficult for us. The girls will cry The teachers would talk, meetings were held. The female teachers really suffered, but they did not give up. We realized there was a problem. We organized a meeting on 21st of January to handle this issue of relationship, how boys look at girls. Reaching February, the way of life these children had at home and the way things that to be done in school now were different. Because in school we have rules and regulations. Children are confined in an area like this. This did not go well with many of them. They felt they should be allowed to roam like they were doing at home. This was one area I realized was a challenge for us who are managing schools. The problem was not only here, it was everywhere, because we networked with our colleagues and we realized the children had changed. The day when finals for African Cup of Nations were played at night, if we did not handle our issues well, that was going to be the day when there had been a strike in school. It was a day the students had their open campaigns for electing student leadership. For about 2 years we were doing without student leaders. So we had the campaigns that night. Students attended, we went for prep, reaching 9:30. That game would start at 10 p.m. Many students went out, don't know how they got schools. But those who were drunk were the ones causing our problems here on campus. That we want this, we want to watch, we want to watch. The school had a small TV set that was in the office at the reception. The big screen we had bought for them, we had a very huge screen for them. That screen accidentally was destroyed as they were moving it from here to the office in the year 2021, before the second lockdown. So working on that screen requires about 2 million shillings. It's like buying a new one. So we did not buy a new one. But the students started circulating information that a teacher had bought for them a new screen, a teacher had bought them a new screen. I said, who said it? So when they are putting pressure on this, when they ask after prep, go and sleep, they all refuse. Say they want to watch. I was called, I said, please, that small thing, put it for them. Whoever will manage to see, let him see. Teachers also responded well. They went and borrowed one of the teachers handed the screen to the house. Now they connected two screens. One was connected here, the other one connected in front of the office. They watched the game up to 1 a.m. The game went up to extra time, penalties. Others took that opportunity, because when you are here, they'll get the opportunity to go and do what they want to do. In the morning hours, the number of bottles that were here on the compound of this cheap alcohol all over. We collected those bottles, but they watched the food. I told the teachers what we know is they must be in class the following morning. Anybody who is sleeping, that one will be punished. Some were even got sleeping, and we paraded them. But we went slow with the students, because they are aware they had been from home for a long time. If we had acted, maybe like somebody would act and say, how can a child control me? That would have been a day of faith. But we acted while they were saying, allowed them watch. That small screen, you will understand, that is small screen, you will understand. Because these children have been watching football at home, and that's what occupied them at home. So the disturbances of AFCON, we are solved. But the discipline still was at its peak. generally attitude toward learning was poor. This was mostly with the senior fours again. When you look at other classes, they respond very well for lesson. We introduce for them morning lesson, very early morning lesson. We cut off prep, morning prep, what they call don't prep, we cut them off to improve on coverage. Then evening lessons they also introduce. After normal lessons, we have other lessons that will take them up to 6. So this, we are impressed by other classes. The senior 6 embraced this. Even the senior, at first we left senior 2s out until they complained. They said, why are we not involving them in morning lessons? They want morning lessons. We put them on board. We left them out for Saturday. Then later we also brought. But the senior ones, we said, no, you don't need that morning lesson. The senior 1 class and senior 5 class, I must say, these are the 2 classes that are not affected by COVID in terms of recovery. Because they are just stressed. Their terms are even longer. They are over-advantage. So why do you subject the senior 1 to a very early morning lesson? We don't. So the classes affected are senior 3, senior 4, senior 6. To some extent, the senior 2s. To some extent. The senior 3s you are seeing there actually only finished senior 1. You're all aware. These are actually senior 1 materials. They already actually senior. They are even aware. They are aware. And the senior 4's time is not there for you. So we actually have 3 sets of senior 1s. Those who are in senior 3, they have just finished senior 1, but they are senior 2. The senior 2s, we are struggling with them. The books they are using are actually even senior 1 books. Senior 2s are in senior 1. So the senior 1s, there was a conflict between them. They say, senior 1 said, you senior 2s, you have not done any exam in this school. And they are right. They are right. Which exams have they done? They have not done any exam. And they are used to exams. We realized this poor attitude in learning was there. Drug abuse. Students were abusing drugs. One of them is the Waraji I talked of. Then this is the opioid. Students were, any school where you come from, if you tell me students are there don't smoke opioid, you are lying. My office receives information. Students came here and gave me names of those who are opium smokers. They said they smoke them. When the time comes, they run and smoke. Then they come and disturb you. That's why food is not really enough for them. They smoke. There are some students who smoke. We started fighting this. Our assembly is only dominated by speeches concerning drug abuse, dangers of drug abuse. We give live examples of children who did it and who on the street suffering. Why do you want to run mad at this age? This is what we talk. When you have all assemblies here, where senior fours stand, that is where the problem is. In fact, yesterday when I attended assembly, I was received by students like a hero. The senior ones, the students were extremely happy. The school is quiet, school is disciplined. The senior ones feel they're in school. That is what I must tell you. Receiving us in a big way, which has never been the case. I told them I want to package my speech to them to fit that reception they gave me. I am appreciating them. We will only talk about discipline when these boys are there. Second last assembly here, students, we are talking about, we bought, they requested us to buy for them new dustbins. We bought some buckets, brand new, we brought them. The one of the boys just lasted for 2 nights. All of them were stolen. Then the prefects, they steal them and sell and drink. When the prefects mentioned this, their boy is celebrating. I just picked the boy who was celebrating now, clapping, celebrating the loss of them. We told these boys, this school, we are hearing students being suspended, dismissed from other schools. We'll even give them the report. Our school had actually no suspensions until recently, when we made with the chairman, the disciplinary committee in assembly, we said enough is enough, we must begin to act. So they took us for a ride. We gave them time to improve, but they did not. So they drinking alcohol, smoking, banned by a few students. Arrogance. Some students are very arrogant. Now once you have taken these things, you become very arrogant. Sneaking. Some students they will sneak. They do it from outside. They go and get it outside. The girls here were also part of this. They will go and sleep outside. Violent behavior. Some students respond violently. If you want to help them. Students are threatening teachers. They will threaten teachers. I have some exhibits here. There was a ministry official who was here for inspection. When I was giving this report, he asked for evidence. I gave him. He got his smartphone, captured this, so they take it to the attention of the ministry. They call the teacher, they use the teacher by nickname. They say your time is up. They are going to make us turn the school upside down, 105. Rest in peace, rest in hell. In fact, late. They call the teacher late. I think you need LDUs to come and support you when supervising. But don't make home people cry. Because of anybody. We shall deal with you the way you have started. Unknown dance. Enough is enough. Stupidity. In fact, tell home people to begin digging your grave. Rest in hell. These are what your children are writing. These are what your children are writing. As this were not enough, it's very unfortunate. We did not tell you the writing they made there that we need to strike. Okay? We need to strike. So all these things that are happening, we are not happening. What happened recently actually started a long time. Unwanted items, phones. They use phones for doing very dirty things. And you can't trace it. We've picked phones, we've picked phones. But these phones keep on coming. Where they hide them is very difficult. They kind of close the place. I'm actually making a repeat those who are here in another meeting. When we saw all these things, we called a meeting. We called a meeting for parents of senior 4 and senior 6. The intention was to address indiscipline and warn the senior 4s. Should they do anything, we will react. That's why we call the parents of senior 4s. Some of them came. This meeting was held on 21st. In response to this, but we now quoted it by putting issues of registration of exams. But we were dealing with indiscipline. These parents came. They gave their contributions, but somewhere they also, some of them let us down. You see how they let us down. These parents let us down when we asked them to get a copy of school rules and regulations, which we printed, booklets, at a cost. Say, go through these rules and regulations with your children, then come and sign them to the children. Anything your child will do, we will respond. These parents told us they were too busy, time was not there. They picked the rules and regulations, they said they will come after 1 week. Up to today, I don't know how many have come back. How many have come back? Less than 10 parents came back. So the children knew that the parents were not there. They are far. We told you all these things. In fact, one parent called me, he's from Obong. He said, he's very sorry you're not down. But he wanted to say this if he was here. They are the ones who let school down. Because we told them clearly what was building here. How can we respond to this? They refuse to respond. How else can we tell you these things? Say, this is what your children were doing. The resolutions they made were not binding, because they wanted you to sign the document. That rules and regulation part, that you have understood it, the child has understood it. We will ask you to sit down with your children, talk to them, speak one language, you don't want to strike. Many of us were in the pain of running a school with indisciplined children is terrible. Some people make a lot of noise, insult us, that we have not done a lot. Even yesterday, their parents insulted us. Parents insulted us. A parent whose daughter is found coming from a disco place, actually naked. When you tell this parent, your daughter has done this, come and be handled. Tell the teacher, I have so many schools that I can take my child there. You discipline a child, the parent makes more noise. I am happy here we are discussing without telling you who ringleaders are. I don't want our discussion to be affected, so that we resolve not knowing who is on the wrong. And that resolution will catch up. Children came to school in clothes that are not fitting them. We are all aware as parents. We said as a school, can you give new uniform for senior 3s and senior 4s? I don't know whether we check, mothers, do we check our children when they come to school? What have they put in their case? That must be a responsibility. Which clothes are you putting there? Do you have a uniform? Do you have this? We are all waiting for this opportunity. I know most of us are tired of keeping the children at home. We just threw them to us, let them handle themselves better. Tiny uniforms was for the boys. We kept on slowly, some of you responded slowly we are adjusting. We didn't want to look harsh. After the meeting of parents on 21st, we continued with our counseling and guidance during lessons, during assemblies, and so on. We had the 21st was meeting for us with the candidates. With the parents was 26th February. The month of March, where football issues started, football and national. I blame Ministry of Education for all these confusions that we are going through. When schools were open, clearly they gave us guidelines on how schools are open, what we are going to do. That there will be no football and netball. This term will be for this and that. To cover for the lost time, remedials. All of a sudden, I don't know, maybe those who are under sports department also wanted to make use of their budget. Silently, through the social media, these things started coming in. For us, we knew we were battling with a serious cancer here. What about if the football is there and netball is there? What will not happen? I, for one, I refuse even to put my signature on any of these sports documents, leave alone my photo as a head teacher. Because I was against. When the children had their playing, they started reluctantly. Interclass alone, when the students played the language they used to moral boost, even during interclass. They are reminded of what they are doing at home. Stones were thrown. Some students were hit, injured. During interclass, this is only one school getting involved. Now we said, how will it be when school A is playing school B? We failed to declare results for our competitions here in school. The senior fours, when they conceded a goal in the finals, they protested. They didn't end it there. And no results. We are not. So when football issues came, they say districts are going to play school. This school is going to be there. Reluctantly, we are just doing. The teachers here know it. My position. But we are trying to wait. What if we don't play? What will come? So slowly we are balancing this. When these last issues happened, there are issues which happened within here. I called the LC5. I said, look, we have a problem. I told the chairman we have a problem. He said even he didn't know how this football and netball came in, because they are told these things are not there. We were rehabilitating children slowly. But he didn't say they are there. What will the chairman do? I already demanded from him two things. I said, look, one, can you improve on response when you are called? The police must improve on response when there is a problem. Because the boys may play there, but they come and end the problem in school. You can guard the places where they are playing, but it's coming back to school. I informed him. I said, two, can you come and talk to these children? You make visit to all the schools in your district, talk to them. Chairman, if he was here, I will tell you. I'm happy the councillor is here, the two councillors are here. I say with him in prison. In fact, he does not leave us. Why we had 6 students on government ticket to university was his effort. When we petitioned him, our district was not among list of those schools, districts to benefit. He took it up immediately, requested for evidence from here we did, and he petitioned. And that's how we had 6 of our students studying free in the public university, doing very good courses. That was his effort. So I know, being a young man, when I talk to him, he will respond. So these 2 things I put for him. On Women's Day, there was another challenge on Women's Day. We have never observed any, we don't observe any public holiday because it has no relevance with us here. What we only did was to improve their diet. He said Women's Day, we'll give you food, we'll give you what they call tissue, meat. But can you attend our lessons? The senior force actually locked one of the teachers who came here. It was the senior force. Immediately when the teachers realized this, the 2 deputies organized an assembly immediately in the morning, emergency assembly. Then later, lessons picked up. It was the senior force who resisted, they didn't want these teachers here. So Women's Day, when I came around, the 2 deputies said, no, the situation is not good. Good enough, the director was there. I said, director, we are going to talk to these children after lunch. There will be no lessons for senior force. We called the senior force in this room. I talked to them, the director talked to them. That was on 8th of March. After our discussions, we were asked, is there any grievance? Everybody kept quiet. There was no problem. The issues were, because there was a sign that they are not fine. But nobody will tell you. We all kept quiet, there is no problem. So, Chairman came, Chairman PTA came with his team to talk to them on 12. When they came on 12 to talk to them, for me I was doing my field work, I was doing harvesting cassava and Uganda, because I'm also a farmer. I said, deputies, you will handle this. These people came and talked to them. The chairman was even on the radio. He was so happy that he addressed about 1,000 students. They all listened to him. He told them if there's any problems they find in school, he gave his number to them. That you call him, they should call him. Before anything happens, they should call him. Did they call him? They have his number. They didn't call him. These people, when chairman says they tried their best, that is the reason. They tried their best. We tried our best. What is that we should not do? We could not do. That we didn't do. That we should have done. Feeding in school here, I must say it is proper. After every 2 weeks, children are served meat. If you don't eat meat, you eat fish. In between, we call it mechanic. They are sauce. At least you buy something. We introduce greens. The first day we introduce greens. They are riots. The adults are gassy. We relax. Only a few people, when they begin to have those voices, you become silent. You don't want anyone. These 11 weeks we are in school, we have given them meat 6 times. We slaughter a big bull. Then you must buy enough fish. In my school life, we used to eat this due to the public holiday. Sometimes the whole term, I even talk with the children where I stay, they say, how many times do you need to meet in the whole term? 1, 2. Here, 6 times. And the 7th one is coming. Sunday, which is coming the other week, the first week of January. We want to make life simple for the children. So if it was arrow feeding, I rule it out. We have so far purchased 504 bags of pushu. Our suppliers will get tired. Where does the food end? I was talking to the parents, the senior one child said with this parent that the food is not enough. They eat portion here. That parent happens to be a teacher in charge also of welfare. I went to him and said, in that school where you, how many children are there? He said 1,200. I said, how many kilograms of portion do you use in a day? He said they use 75 kilograms. I said we use 6 bags of portion. Every day use 6 bags. Where does the food go? He keeps quiet. He just kept quiet. I said, is it true? I said, yes, it's true. Go there to the food supplier, they will tell you. 6 bags every day. Where does it go? They are the ones who eat it. So we had this meeting. We played our football, netball. For us, our eyes, all the time we were on prayers. When the children go out, it is prayers. It is prayers. It is prayers. They finish. Our position is very clear. We made it to them. Only those who are participants will go in our school bus and we feed them well. Nobody will go rest of students in class. That one was followed in the group stages. They all qualified for quarterfinals. Quarterfinals, we are pushed closer here. When they were pushed closer, the boys lost in quarterfinals, but the girls won and went up to finals. Before finals were played, for me, I was just restless. I knew this venue is near. I tried to petition. I was just on phone calling, can we move this football somewhere? I called the chairman. The chairman said, yes, let them move this football to where the police are moving. Very far there, so that our children cannot walk. The organizers switch off their phones. I struggled all the known lines, they switched off their phone. In the morning, Saturday, they told me the game is going to be played at Chilwa, which is a walkable distance. I said, God, that Saturday, my lifestyle was very funny. I walked there to town. It was, you just see my body, but my mind was not there. Because I knew there was a problem. I just called, I said, Deputy Administration, can you check HP, head girl, put for me the prefects who are for games, both boys and girls, together with you, take players, and give us 15 girls to do moral boosting to fill the bus, a capacity of 40. He said, yes, we will do that. I said, as soon as your game is over, regardless of result, just leave that venue. I don't need confrontation, leave that venue. They followed. Reaching around lunchtime, we sat with one of the teachers in town. We received a call that students are leaving school for watch football. So the team had already left. So these smaller ones, they are leaving, students, they are leaving. And yet here we had lessons. The senior folks had lessons, the practicals, we teach them. Practicals are taught up to 5. I breathed, I said, well and good. Don't do wrong. I told them that staff, don't mind. Don't mind, there's nothing you can do. Now I called back, I said, don't do roll call. Don't do roll call. That was my instruction. Because when you do roll call, this will be a source of confrontation. When they are there, they hear roll call is done, whatever their minds tell them to do, they do it. But I said, no roll call should be done. I stood my ground, no roll call is done. That week, our neighboring school reported also students trying to misbehave. He said he wants to share this with us. Those some of the things they said we are not doing. I don't want us to talk about them, but he gave us just how his children were behaving, how he handled them at night, putting demands on him, and so on and so on. He gave us this as a tip. I said, okay. At times when the neighbors also move our students in class, move in open vehicles, they throw insults as they go. I addressed this that Friday in assembly. I said, this is football. This one, in football, people's brains don't work. I was a child. I shared with them my story in primary when I was in P1, P2. I told them we had two sections, section North and South. When North is going for PE, they will sing our name. They will say, I sang it for them. I said, this is the game. When we also go for ours, we sing, but we don't fight. So when these people are shouting here, let them not respond. Let them keep their cool. They kept their cool. So in the evening of Saturday, the teachers were here. I said, be around. There should be no confrontation in school. Some of these children went there, including girls. These girls went there. Others came back on a border. That way they came back, they realized teachers on the ground, teachers were there. They also passed this information. That is according to our data, what we have collected. They must have informed those students who are behind that teachers are taking place here. They are here. Prep went on well. That prep went up to, the first group stopped at 9:30. The senior, of course, are supposed to go with senior 6 up to 10 p.m. So at 10, teachers who are here came and dispersed students to go to go and sleep. They responded, went and slept. Then this group is a group that came from the where the food was playing. This last group that came, they came drunk. When they came drunk, they are trying to access food. If they try to access food by force, and among these there are girls that they are trying to bring in. This is how these things happen. Stone throwing started to clear away for them to enter. Then those who had those ill intentions took advantage. They went on rampage. I was called. The person who was calling was outside school compound. The teachers even failed to access. There was only one teacher who was in the campus and dressed like them. The others could not access. They are like journalists reporting. The two covers. But you will hear on phone things like that. That day, what I forgot to tell you was, I went to watch football. Very relaxed, I bought a bottle of water. I was transferring numbers of the DPC, LC5. God was preparing me for this thing. I said I was transferring those numbers on an old phone to a new phone. Then I came, I loaded enough airtime to prepare, I didn't know. And that's how I ended the day. So at night when I said there's a problem, the first number I called was LC5, Vice Chairperson. She responded immediately. I said, what is the problem? I said, there is problem in my progressive. And you call your DPC and respond immediately. When I called her, I called also the DPC, but I was calling their deputy DPC. I called. He said he's going to inform the DPC. We started calling each other at night. I informed the directors, informed whoever I should inform. Then I was in touch with the people on the ground. They will give me a report what is happening. Stay out of school. Be a distance. Give me a report of what is happening. You will hear stones on the roof, all over. Later, DPC called me. My number was given by the chairperson of LC5. He called me, said, OC Katini will respond. I said, okay. So he gave me also OC's number. I called back, I said, these teachers were just there at night. This noise, these children took over. The rebels took over the compound here completely. They move around. The children who are here were all asleep, pretending to sleep, but they are just waiting for what was happening. Stones, you will hear. I must thank sincerely the district leaders there. If it were not them, and the timely intervention by our OC here, this OC here managed these boys. When he said he has come, I said, don't enter. He said he will not enter until he sees children are destroying property. Because that is their work. Because they deal with evidence. If there is no evidence, when they enter there, the children say, why have you come here? They will not riot. So there must be evidence that will cool them down. So the station, the officers were both fight at the station. With the teachers now on duty, teachers came around all the day. So when they started, the glasses, they bang them, do this. This one in action. One bullet was fired here in my front. One bullet fired. And they said one has been fired, but they are those stubborn boys who are still continuing. We fired bullets. So the place was fired. We took over the control of this place. All of them retreated. Locked everybody inside. The told me station was under control. I said, do you need more enforcement? He said, his force can manage you boys. Everybody was now asleep. Pretending to sleep, but they are not asleep. But the place was nobody could go out. Reaching 4 a.m., he called me and said, please, the teacher, I want you to be in school by 5 a.m. I called my director, I called the 5, I said, I'm on the way. We made arrangements. I called the chairman, PT, said, please, be here by 5. He came fast, I found him already here. They also took us through what happened. Why those classes were picked was where there was a battle between the police. There are those voices that were saying, don't do this. But these were overshadowed by the many indisciplined children who took advantage. Those indisciplined children took advantage. This thing before saw it because of the discipline. The football only sparked it. Everything that happens for a reason. Maybe God wanted to give us a message. I take it positive. I didn't want to apportion blames, but I want to say these children had a challenge. Challenge is COVID-19. The COVID-19 break. About 2 years, the children were not in school. The children were looking for comfort. What could keep them happy? Now they took the wrong friends. Many of us failed to tame our children. We failed. Can I tell you, in the first months in school here, the boys you will get, when you get boys with these big pockets, what is there is condom. You will get condoms. When I told you the boys were looking at girls as sex objects, is exactly what these boys are getting involved in. We even have reports here that there are those who impregnated girls at home, you kept them here, they are there. There are girls who went and they got eloped, others came back to school, they are there. So this is the impact of COVID that we are talking about. We failed to tame our children when they are at home. So they are always showing the impact. When we talk about impact of COVID, it is real in school. And these teachers will tell you, a student will abuse a teacher, the teacher will not slap. How can you teach a child who has abused you, who insults you, in front of the rest of the students? This is how these children came from home. Some parents wept here. A child from a Muslim family is sent home because of drunkenness. Parents will just collapse. What is this? Your father does not drink. Your dad does not drink. We discovered also our relationship at home with our spouses is affecting some of these children. Some of us are separated and the children are here. The children talk bitterly. What disturbs them is that background at home. Others live with their mothers, the father is not there. So that bitterness is there. You may try your level best as a mother to provide everything, but that one has already gone in your mind. I am a useless person. When he or she is here, they can destroy anything. So these ones who are living with single parents,
At home, they are for discos, they are doing what? Everything, they are doing it. That doesn't mean those who are living with their both parents don't misbehave, but most of those you find they are like that. Or else the one who is paying fees does not live with this boy or this child. If I can tell you that we keep on getting new names of students. A senior one girls even go for disco. Senior one girl, the small one. There was one I went to the mother, I said, Mother, can you be there for this meeting? You look for admission I gave you. This girl here where there's the discipline case handled in staff room, I see her there. This morning I came with a new thing. One who was dismissed said they used to go for disco week together with this one. Small girl. They sneak here. Some people may blame watchmen looked at who is coming from outside to attack school. They are excellent in doing that. The ones who are here, watchman guards, they don't respect them unless you are giving us permission to shoot, which you will not give. And that's why they go out. You will not. Even if you are the best askari, they put you here as a watchman. 1 week is enough. You are useless. You must associate these watchmen for trying their best. They keep record. When we have a disciplinary meeting here, the watchmen help us a lot. They will describe that person, we take to the class, show us that person. They'll show that person. This is this person. So COVID-19 has turned a good mind out. The bad one in. 2, automatic promotion. Okay? For those of us who are teachers, this challenge is the automatic promotion. Those who are incompetent, they have all found their way to the next class. What are they doing there? They know they cannot do anything. They are there. We used to screen, say, so and so can go to the next class. So and so can go to the next class. At times, even when you see an environment is not good for you, say this environment is not good for the child, but the child can pass somewhere. Advice. We do that. Children who do this are not many. When the inspector from ministry asked me, do you have fence? I said, I don't know where they have. They said, why? So let's go and check. This fence, we put double fence here on this side. 2021. You know, these same boys, they go there, they open it. I got the inspector, I said, you take this to the ministry, come and see. You tell us all the time, schools have no fences, schools put fences, and who destroyed them? It is the children you give us who destroyed them. So the character of these children has caused all this. We have been having meetings. I may not give you the full details of what we have. We want your reactions. But we are having meetings at the higher levels, the senior committee levels, and so on. We have our resolutions which are communicated later.